currently there is no international framework that says this is what feminist policy is about. And that leaves a danger of member states picking and choosing what is feminist and what is not. So I want to raise three main issues that we really need to look at if we want to make feminist policy, existing ones, feminist, and also countries who don't have the framework but say they're feminist, or they have a strategy on women and gender. So the first one is lack of coherence. There are a lot of countries that say they are feminist or have feminist strategy or policies, but they do everything else that is not feminist. There is nothing feminist about the United Kingdom raising the visa fee to 10, 20%, which eventually will exacerbate gender equality, especially for African migrants, yes, and will encourage dominant classes to enjoy stability on the back of anti-migrant theology. There is nothing feminist about the European Commission blessing a deal between Tunisia and Italy to encourage forkless Europe. The European Commission was in Tunisia last week. They knew that black migrants were dying on the Libyan borders. They said nothing about it. There is nothing feminist about Australia arms export to bomb women in Yemen and Syria, right? While on the other side also providing humanitarian assistance to the same countries. And the list goes on. All European countries that are contributing to a climate framework that is capitalist and patriarchal, there is nothing feminist about it when Africa contributes the least and impacted by the most. And really the list goes on. So first of all is coherence. Global leaders, we need coherence. The second is there is this white saviourism or white feminist saviourism that says because these policies started by Sweden and other European countries, and postcolonial feminism says that this feminist foreign policy can be used to perpetuate global hierarchies and basically say that we are the expert in feminism and we're gonna come and save you, poor women, helpless women, and save you from your dictator and culture and religions that is oppressing you. And that is completely excluding other bodies of knowledge, indigenous knowledge in Africa, for example, and other ideas and other bodies of understanding what feminism is. The third point is on peace and security. Unfortunately, not only we have lack of coherence, not only we have this white saviorism, feminist imperialism, but also now countries started to, in the name of gender equality and women's rights, militarize and go and have security policies in other countries. For example, the United States security policies in Iraq and Pakistan now, after years of study, prove that it only exacerbated gender inequality and didn't empower women in those countries, and only promoted hyper-masculinized way of understanding security in these countries. Germany is the fourth largest arms export of arms all around the world, basically violating international human rights. So any country that is exporting arms, which are mostly affecting women and girls, do not count for the prevalence of gender-based violence, which is facilitated by that arms control. So you can't say, you are feminist leader in the feminist. So essentially, I think all of these countries lecturing us about feminism should look inward, because they're using also the feminist policies to avoid their national shortcomings of dealing with their own gender equality and promoting this image that we are a feminist leader globally, but really nationally there is a lot that you have to deal with. So I think moving forward we need to address the gap between practice and rhetoric, the lack of coherence, and also the top-down approach. All of these policies are produced by foreign affairs ministries who have no horizontal way of engaging civil society in the process.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that master class in how not to feminist policy. Aya, we're on your continent. You get the last word. I'll say that I really appreciated an education that you've given me recently in your Twitter feed about what's happening to migrants in Tunisia as both a destination country and a through transit country. I do think that there does tend to be a tendency in this discourse to either focus on domestic or foreign, and then nobody wants to talk about immigration in the middle. And yet this is where we see these principles really falling down. So grateful if you could share a little bit more of your expertise with us today and close us out.
Yeah, I think first of all, I hear a lot the discourse about sub-Saharan Africa or this foreign policy, especially European countries. By the way, it's one-way stream. We don't have like Eswatini EU or Europe strategy or Ghana Europe strategy, but you find everybody have a strategy towards Africa, and it's called sub-Saharan. There is nothing, guys, exists that is sub-Sahara. We are Africa. We are one. I don't know why you see us divided between North and South. So if you want to have a strategy towards Africa, it is Africa. And back to your question, there was this rhetoric, both government and civil society around sub-Saharan migrants. They are black migrants. This is a conversation about blackness, because black Tunisians are also assaulted because of the state-sponsored fascist racism. The other fold of it and responsibility, of course, it's the European side of the Mediterranean. So this is really an equal responsibility, because Europe then would say, oh, this is you, Africa, deal with yourself and your problem. This was orchestrated by European leaders. So they need to have the same share of accountability and responsibility for all the thousands of African migrants dying in the Mediterranean. Now, moving forward into a feminist migrant policy and how I see it, first to move beyond this binary between citizen and migrant, legal, illegal, human, inhuman. We have to move beyond binaries, dealing with women as a homogeneous group and not in all their diversity. So that's one. Two, we have to have a security policy centered around human security and not militarization. A feminist foreign policy is about demilitarization. So for me, it's really important that whoever sits in the policy-making table, making those policy, men or women, to understand that weapons and arms will never guarantee our safety, never. And border policing the borders will never end migration. Just accept it.
Yes, thank you.